Welcome back to the Classical Liberal Arts Academy's Petty School Reading Program. In this lesson, we'll continue our study of English reading. Remember, there is no way to become a good English reader or speller except by practice, practice, and more practice. There is no way to become a good English reader or speller except by practice, practice, and more practice. We have learned that there are 26 letters in the English alphabet and that 5 of them are vowels. On this chart, you can see the vowels in the yellow boxes. In our recent lessons, we've learned the consonants B, C, and D. You can see these consonants in the green boxes on your screen. In this lesson, we're going to study the consonants F, G, and H. Point to the green dot on your screen and look carefully at this English consonant. This is the letter F. The letter F is used to represent 2 basic sounds in English. The first sound made by the English letter F is the same sound we studied in classical letters. It's the sound F, F. We call this a voiceless F because we make this consonant sound without using our voice. It's voiceless. F, F. Look at the word on your screen. Well, let's read this word together using the voiceless F sound. Faith, faith, faith. The second basic sound made by the English consonant F is the voiced F sound. The voiced F sound. In our last screen, we learned the voiceless F sound. This is the F sound with voice added. V, v, v. Let's read this word together using the voiced F sound. Of, of, of. Point to the green dot on your screen and look carefully at this English letter. Earlier in petty school, we learned that in Latin this was called ge, ge. In English, this is the letter G. The letter G in English has 4 basic sounds. The first sound made by the English letter G is the classical ge sound, g, g, g. Let's read the word on your screen together using the classical ge sound. God, God, God. The second basic sound made by the English letter G is the soft G sound. This sound comes before the sounds made by the letters E, I, and Y. The soft G sound. Let's read this word together on your screen using the soft G sound. Giant, giant, giant. We'll also find the English letter G in many digraphs. The digraphs with the English letter G can be very confusing. Let's take a look at a few common digraphs with the letter G. In this word, you can see the digraph GH. The sound of the letter G in this word is the sound of the classical g, g, g. The letter H in the digraph is silent. Let's read this word together. Ghost, ghost, ghost. The third basic sound made by the English letter G is no sound at all. It's silent. In this word, we again see the digraph GH, but here the digraph is silent. Let's read this word together with the letter G silent. Do, do, do. The third sound of the letter G is the silent G. The fourth sound made by the English letter G is the irregular F sound made here in the digraph GH. Let's read this word together using the irregular F sound with the digraph GH. Laugh, laugh, laugh. The fourth basic sound of the English letter G is the irregular F sound. In the word on your screen, we find the letter G silent in the digraph GM. The digraph GM is read with the sound of the letter M alone. Let's read this word together. Phlegm, phlegm, phlegm. The letter G in English is also silent in the digraph GN. Let's read this word together, reading the G as silent G in the digraph GN. Rain, rain, rain. Again, the G is silent. Point to the green dot on your screen and look carefully at this English consonant. This is the letter H. In English, the letter H is used to represent two basic sounds. The letter H represents two basic sounds. The first sound made by the English consonant H is the sound of the classical letter ha. Ha, ha, ha. Let's read this word together using the classical ha sound. Holy, holy, holy. In some words, the English letter H is also silent. The second sound made by the English letter H again is no sound at all. Let's read this word together with the silent H. Honest, honest, honest. This is an example of the silent H. The letter H is read in many different ways when used in digraphs. The letter H is read in many different ways when used in digraphs. We've already learned some with the letters C and G. While the English letter H is read with many different sounds, what you will normally see is that the letter H adds breath to a letter. What you will normally see is that the letter H adds breath to a letter. We call this aspiration, aspiration. In this word, we find the English letter H in the digraph PH. Normally, the consonant P makes the sound P, P, P. However, when it's added to the English letter H in the digraph PH, the sound is aspirated and becomes F, F, F. Let's read this word together, using the aspirated sound for the digraph PH. Philip, Philip, Philip. In this word, we see the digraph RH. Again, the letter H will make an aspirated sound. This is hard to hear, and many times in English we pronounce it incorrectly. What is strange about it is that the aspirated sound comes before the simple consonant sound of the letter R. Let's read this word together. Rhetoric, rhetoric, rhetoric. Most English-speaking people pronounce this without the aspirated sound as rhetoric, rhetoric. In this word, we again see the English letter H in a digraph. Here we have the digraph PH. We just learned in the word Philip that the digraph PH is aspirated. In this word, we're going to read the digraph PH with our voice. The sound will be V, V. Let's read this word together. Stephen, Stephen, Stephen. In this word, we find the digraph SH. Normally, the sound of the English letter S is S. The letter H will aspirate that sound and make the sound sh. Let's read this word together. Sheep, sheep, sheep. Once again, we find the English letter H in another digraph, here in the digraph TH. We know that the normal sound of the letter T is the sound T, T. But the letter H aspirates the sound T. The sound of this syllable is the aspirated TH. Th, th. Let's read this word together. Moth, moth, moth. In this word, we find the digraph TH again, but here the digraph is read with the voice. Let's read this word together. Mother, mother, mother. Do you hear the voiced sound? The, mother. In this word, we find the English letter H in the digraph WH. As we saw before, in this word, the aspirated sound comes before the consonant sound. Let's read this word together and listen carefully for the aspirated sound that comes before the consonant. What, what, what. In this word, we again see the letter H in a digraph with the letter W. In this word, the W is silent. Let's read this word together. who, who, who. So remember, the letter H is read in many different ways when used in digraphs. The letter H is read in many different ways when used in digraphs. The only way to learn the sounds of the English language is by practice, practice, and more practice. Let's take some time now and review the sounds of the consonants we've studied in this lesson. To review, let's read some words that use the English consonants we've studied in this lesson. You can ask an older brother or sister, or your mother or father, to read these words with you. Focus on the sounds made by the letters F, G, and H. Remember, there are many words in English whose spelling does not match their sounds. There are many words in English whose spelling does not match their sounds. To help you remember the basic sounds of the consonants F, G, and H, it's helpful to simply memorize the words that have these basic sounds. For the letter F, remember the words faith and of. For the letter G, remember the words God and giant. And for the letter H, remember the words holy and honest. Remember that these letters are often read as silent letters and make no sound at all. And remember that there are many irregular sounds made by these letters, especially when they are joined with other letters to make digraphs. To practice with the English letters F, G, and H, have an older brother or sister, or your mother or father, read with you the Lord's Prayer. You can see that I've highlighted all of the letters F, G, and H on your screen in red. Focus on the sounds made by each of these letters. On this screen, you can practice reading the Hail Mary, just as you read the Our Father. You can see that all of the F's, G's, and H's in the Hail Mary are highlighted in red. I hope that you've enjoyed this lesson in the Classical Liberal Arts Academy's Petty School Reading Program. For more resources from the Classical Liberal Arts Academy, visit us online at classicalliberalarts.com.